I never passionately wanted to be an actor. It's very difficult for me to answer this question. It's not made for a person like me. I'm not an emotional actor. I was pretty sure that I would go and study filmmaking. I think he's the best actor that I've worked with him. Oh, Durga Puja is about to arrive.
Welcome to Spotlight on Connected to India. This is Parambrata Chatterjee. I want to do a series of special series on Bengali film actors and actresses for the Durga Puja celebration in Singapore, which is one of the biggest diaspora in Southeast Asia, and they celebrate a huge Durga Puja day. The first question is, you have a very, very celebratory background, like Ritik Ghatak and Mahashata Devi and your parents, but you have never won that family badge on your lapel. Why is that?
I think it kind of comes de facto from the kind of badge that it is. In the sense
that the badge is huge.
Then the badge is huge, but the badge is from a set of people who'd never really wanted to self-advertise much. Starting from Mr. Ghatak, who I think who has been evaluated, or I think is still not evaluated today. And in his lifetime, while he was alive, I don't think he got his due. We all know that.
Yeah.
Even Mahashata Devi, whom I used to fondly call Kukumashi, she has been an author who has championed the cause of the downtrodden, the cause of, the people living on the fringes of society. It is only recently, or probably in the last 2 decades, when she has been, or when her work has come to the fore, or has been accepted into the mainstream reading canon per se. When she had started out writing, she had started out working as an activist more than a writer, and even when she had become a prolific writer, she was never really looked at like a prolific writer, more as an activist. But she has actually created some of the finest literary pieces in Bengali literature, but she is looked at as an activist writer, or a writer activist, more than a writer. A lot of other people who have only been writers or authors all their lives have been put on a pedestal as only an author, whereas Mahashata Devi has been looked at primarily as an author activist because of the very nature of the kind of writing she did. In terms of my family, from my maternal side, I come from a family that, yes, is very celebrated, but at the same time, they come from an alternative space. It's less mainstream as compared to a lot of others. So I think that is the reason why a lot of people still don't know that I hail from that family. And
because you don't wear it as a badge, as I just.
No, also because not a lot of people are aware of, don't judge it by yourself, Shomati, that won't be fair. I'm talking about a regular reader who is a prolific or a voracious reader of a lot of other mainstream Bengali authors might not have read Mahashata Devi. It's a sad truth.
Yeah.
But
that's a price.
As I said, don't judge it. Don't set the parameter as per your personal experiences. It is much wider than that. So yeah, that's one reason. And the other thing is, even if I did hail from a very mainstream cinema background, even then I would have not liked to wear any badge for that matter, and I would have liked to make whatever I could
on your way
have on my own. Yes.
How easy or difficult was it to get your foothold in television, cinema, and so as director, actor?
I think as an actor for television, it kind of happened automatically, and I didn't even set out to become an actor in the first place. I never thought that I'd become an actor. It happened as an accident, as a happy accident, of course. Just about at the time when, I was acting for about a couple of years, while doing my university, and I was thinking of kind of quitting all of that, and once I would finish my graduation, my undergrads, I was just considering going off to a film school to study filmmaking. My father unfortunately passed away, so it made a lot of sense to continue with acting because a handsome pocket money, and that was needed at that point in time. So it was more of a pragmatic choice, very honestly, to begin with, rather than something that I really wanted. It never really was that. As opposed to a lot of my friends and colleagues in the industry who have always wanted to be actors very passionately. So I never passionately wanted to be an actor. I wanted to make films. So yeah, becoming an actor was a happy accident, and becoming a bit of a star on television was also kind of rolled for me. I didn't really have to put in much effort into that. Becoming a bit of a very well-known household name, a star on television. But I think I quit doing television in 2007, and I moved on to films, and I wanted to do only films. And it was about at the same time when I also wanted to take a hiatus from acting and go and study filmmaking, which I had always wanted to do, but I could not because of the unfortunate circumstances that I just mentioned. I left everything for 2 years, and I went away to study filmmaking in England. Ever since I came back, I had planned that once I go back, I will pursue only making films and producing films, and I'm not gonna continue with acting. But it so happened that once I came back, all the bigger films of my career as an actor, I'm talking about starting from the Hindi ones to the Bengali ones, the bigger Bengali ones, everything happened once I came back. Most of them. In my post-television era, after I quit television, two big films which I had done before I left for foreign shows would be The Bong Connection and Kalbala. But apart from these two, all the other bigger films of my career, films which have been very successful, films which have earned me a lot of acclaim, they have happened only after I came back after studying filmmaking. So yeah, I kind of continued with acting. I wanted to build a career as a director as well, so I started making films alongside acting. And I think if there has been any struggle, if there has been any hardships in establishing myself as anything in any particular role, it would be to establish myself as a director. Because it's a tendency of people to not take actor-directors seriously. Most people think that actors turn directors just because they want to fulfill their sort of own secret wishes of playing certain parts, playing certain roles, which are not being offered to them. But for me, making films was the most natural choice that have ever happened to me. I wanted to be, as I said, I wanted to be a filmmaker first and an actor later. So to kind of get people to take me seriously as a filmmaker, as a director, I think that has taken some time. In fact, I would say, if I'm brutally honest, I think that process is still on. I think that struggle is still pretty much on, I would say. I've heard a lot of things about myself that, here's this one guy who doesn't really know what to do. Does he really want to become an actor? Does he want to remain an actor? Or does he want to actually get into making films? And as if it's a sacrilege, as if it's a blasphemy to dabble in both things. And I being I, or me being me, I've been quite brazen about the fact that I do what I like, and if I get an opportunity, if I can create myself an opportunity to do what I like, I'm not going to hear anything from anyone.
I knew your parents very well. I actually knew them better than I knew you, because I belong to the same fraternity. Shatyanath, he was much younger than me, and Shunitra also was much. And they both wrote in Bengali, but they wrote very well, and they were very close to me. So it was very surprising a little bit initially for me to accept that, how I thought you would naturally drift into film journalism or into writing for that matter. But you didn't. You became an actor. Even before, you grew up fully, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, you're right.
Why is that?
When I started acting, I wasn't even sure this is going to be what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I will be with films. I can't. I don't think I can live without something to do with films. But when I started acting, I was absolutely unsure about how my life's going to shape up. It was, as I said, it was a happy accident, and I was still studying, and the idea probably was that I would either go and study filmmaking and become a filmmaker, or probably would go into academia, which was a very natural choice coming from the background that I came from, or that I come from. I used to keep saying at home, ever since I was in the 7th or 8th standard or 9th standard, that I'm going to become a filmmaker, because that's all that I heard and read about, at home, because both my parents were always discussing films. My father would discuss a lot of music as well, but my mother would be discussing only films and literature mainly. So although I did say that I'm going to become a filmmaker at the age of 15, when I went to Jadavpur University to study English literature, I still wasn't sure that that's going to be eventually going to be my path. I had already started a bit of acting by then. As you said, that I hadn't even properly grown up. I started acting when I was 18 years old. So, but I was pretty sure that I would go and study filmmaking, which had to be deferred because of my father's demise. But so academia never really happened with me, I think. But I could have gone there. I could have gone into academia, but I think it requires a lot of patience, academics, and to become an academic, I think it's not made for a person like me, I think, personally.
You have spent more than 20 years now in the film industry across regional and global media. All right, on OTT and television, in Bengali, in Hindi, and in Bangladesh. So, how would you prioritize between and among Kolkata, Bangladesh, and Bollywood?
It's more a question of availability than choice, really, honest with you.
Offers.
Offers, yes. Yes, I have earned a certain recognition in the Hindi space as well. As an actor, I have been doing reasonable amount of Hindi work in the past 4 years. But I'm very much still based out of Calcutta. I shuttle between Calcutta and Mumbai. I do have a small apartment in Mumbai, but I shuttle between the two cities and the two industries. I'm looking forward to direct in Hindi as well, because obviously every artist, he or she desires or asks for or wants to have a bigger audience. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, and making something in Hindi gives you a bigger audience. But I don't think I have much of an intent to leave Calcutta and settle anywhere else ever. But yes, as far as prioritizing work is concerned, I'm quite pretty prolific in terms of directing and acting these days. So there's a lot of Bengali things which I have done, which I am doing currently, also quite a few Hindi things. But the only thing that I think can keep me away for a longer period of time from Calcutta, can keep me away for longer from Calcutta, I think, is directing something in Hindi, which I'm hoping that it's going to happen soon, maybe next year. So yeah, there is not much question of prioritization here. I think it's an equal balance between these two industries. Bangladesh is a place which I absolutely adore and love. I've had very close connections, familial connections with Bangladesh, and I've also worked there. Yeah, that and my Mashi is still there, and she lives in Dhaka. And until the recent spat of events, I think our connection and we would travel very frequently. There has been a change of guard in Bangladesh. There's been a change of situation, if you like, recently, because of which in the last 2 months or so, the movement is somewhat restricted. But I'm sure things are going to ease up in the near future, and both professional and personal rapport with Bangladesh is going to resume very soon. Yeah.
How do you define acting? Because you're both an actor and a director, but I find, as a critic myself, I find lines of distinction between your acting and your direction. And I like you better as a director than a...
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, very, very good director. In fact, I would prefer if you would have gone in for that.
That's something that makes me the happiest.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for me to answer this question because I've never really wanted to be an actor. When I was sort of new into the industry, and when I would chat with my fellow actors who were very passionate about acting, about performance, and I would learn a lot from them, actually, that, the kind of love and the passion they have for their form, for their art. For me, acting has always been one part of a larger ecosystem, and that larger ecosystem is making movies. I have learnt about filmmaking the most while working as an actor. So that is how I have treated the art form of acting. It's very technical for me. I'm not an emotional actor. I'm a very technical and a very meticulous actor, because when I act, I think I act keeping in mind the holistic piece that I'm acting for, whether it's a film, whether it's a web show, whatever. I think that keeps kind of ticking in my head more than what I'm being able to do. So I'm more interested in, okay, this much here, okay, where's the next camera what's the next angle going to be? So should the camera move there? Maybe on this shot there should be a little bit of movement. I keep jamming with the directors with that, and sometimes I have to kind of restrain myself from doing so, because I don't want to appear interfering in somebody else's craft, because when I'm working as an actor, I'm getting paid only as an actor. I'm not getting paid also as a director. And also, neither should I be intervening in somebody else's work when I'm employed just as an actor. That is how I have grown up. I've grown up as an actor by interacting with the technicalities of filmmaking, not with the technicalities of acting or the art of acting per se. So, and when I direct, I can take a bit of pride in, I'm a pretty good director of performances, of acting. And that has happened because I have been an actor myself for such a long time. And I think I understand the relationship between the filmmaking craft and acting very well, because I've been a very technical actor all my life. So, I think I can provide the actors with the exact subtext, with the exact minimal, how maximum can be achieved with minimal effort for a particular shot. That's how I choreograph scenes. I understand actors' impulses very well, what they feel like doing, when they feel constrained, when they feel that an actor needs to feel rejuvenated, an actor needs to feel validated. So I think I understand those emotions very well. So that really helps me while I'm directing something.
Your directorial films are extremely out of the box. And I cannot really box you in a genre that this guy makes only thrillers or only romantic dramas. All your films are very, very different, such as Chonar Pahadiye. QSQT, Police and Duty, is one of your first directorial attempts, if you remember. But I remember it still very well.
And there are many. I mean, there's Yo Kaka, there's Hawa Badol.
Acha, you acted as a eunuch in one film. Do you remember?
Yeah, Shabantara.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Was it directed also? No. But a very good direction and very good film also. And the other one, which is also not mentioned, I usually is Reunion. Very good film. What is the reason that your films are out of the box, if you agree with out of the box?
I don't actually.
I think I'm very, very mainstream as a filmmaker. I don't like thinking of myself as somebody who wants to make experimental films. I don't actually, because I can't. That's not my thing.
When they turn out to be a bit off-stream, whatever you say. Even Eiratto Maramar, I just watched it.
Yeah. So Eiratto Maramar, which hasn't released yet, obviously for the audience, which is who are watching it, it hasn't released yet. But I think Eiratto Maramar is the only film which is somewhat decidedly different or out of the box, in the sense that it is a film about one old man and one old woman in a house on their 50th anniversary night. It by default, just by virtue of its subject and its log line, I think it's a little different. It's a little off mainstream. I mean, that's how it's meant to be. That is always how it's meant to be. But apart from this one, I think all the other films that I've made, they actually were trying quite hard to be mainstream, I would.
But I wouldn't call Chonar Pahad mainstream.
No, but it's a very emotional story.
Actor-wise, okay. Actor-wise.
No, but it's a very, very... So the thing is, it also depends on what is the yardstick for calling something mainstream or not. Unfortunately or fortunately in Bangla, what we call mainstream has become a derogatory term. We have set certain aesthetic parameters for mainstream cinema, but I don't think that they exist worldwide. If a film caters to a very basic emotion, which Chonar Pahad does, I think it's very mainstream. I can call a film non-mainstream only when that particular film tries to deal with or tries to engage with changing its own form. As long as a film is broadly within the narrative cinema genre, the narrative cinema bracket, I think it's just mainstream. It's for an audience. It's trying to cater to the lowest common denominator audience. Maybe it's catering one film is catering to 10 viewers, the other is catering to 100 viewers, but it's still catering to the audience which likes watching a story being told on screen. True blue experimental filmmaking will deal with the very question whether cinema should be telling only stories or whether it should engage in breaking its own mold. We are going to tell a story on the screen, but how do we tell a story? So that's what I call experimental cinema. As long as the films fall within the narrative cinema bracket, I think they are trying to cater to an audience. So all my films try to cater to an audience, and I have made some very mainstream films. Like Hawa Badol is probably one of the most mainstream comedies made in Bangla ever. I have just finished making Abar Hawa Badol, which is a sequel to it. And that's even more mainstream, actually. Yeah. That I've made films like Tiki Taka, which is out and out mainstream. That way, since you were asking that, I can't really restrict you to one particular genre as a director, I think that has happened because I'm also a product, I'm also a child of very mixed times. I've grown up with so many influences. We were growing up at a time when We didn't have internet, but we have witnessed all these changes happen. Firstly, we have witnessed the number of channels on television increasing from 2 to 200. Then we witnessed the cell phone coming in. Then we witnessed the internet coming in. And then we witnessed 3G, 4G, 5G, 6G coming in. So I think our generation we millennials are one kind of people who have witnessed the maximum number of social changes. We have also witnessed a lot of cultural influences from different corners of the world. So I have grown up with Bangla cinema on Sunday evenings, with Uttam Kumar, Sujitra Sen, Supriya Chaudhuri, Madhavi Mukherjee, Nirmal Kumar, and Tarun Kumar, and everyone, Pahari Sannals of the world. I have grown up with films from the other Bengal as well, from Bangladesh as well. I mean, Bengali cinema by and large. I've grown up with a lot of Hindi films, Bollywood being sort of the most dominant industry in the country. I have grown up with a lot of foreign films, courtesy my parents. And not just English films, but foreign films from different corners of Europe, from different corners of South America and everywhere, from Asia. I mean, at the age at which I came to know about Kurosawa, I don't think any of my classmates had even heard of a name like that.
Yeah,
So I'm a product of a lot of a very big mixture of influences I have in me. I kind of subscribe to every genre now and then. So I have phases. Like there's a phase when I go through when I think, no, this very minimal art house cinema is what I want to make. And maybe a year later, I feel, no,
I want to make all these raunchy, racy thrillers.
Okay.
So it just keeps changing. That way, I think I suffer from a perpetual multiple personality disorder.
Which 5 films are your directorial favorites and why?
My most favorite till date, like personally, as a director, would still be Sonar Pahar, I think. I think that's still date my best film. A lot of people say that Obhijan is my best film, but I think I'd still rate Sonar Pahar.
There's a very critical choice between Obhijan and Sonar.
I think I'll still rate Sonar Pahar above Obhijan. Third would be Ei Raat Tomar Amar, I think. And fourth, very personally, would be a film that is yet to come. It's a very strange kind of a horror film that I have made, Hrithik and myself, which can release sometime next year. It's a film called Ekhane Andhokar. That's one film I think, irrespective of how the film does at the box office or how people receive it, and I would really, really love it if people receive it well. But I think in my personal assessment of my own craft and my own craft and my own understanding of the form of cinema, I think that's probably a film that, having made which, I'm quite proud of myself. As a fifth, I think it's going to be a series and not a film. I think.
Oh, you were selected series.
I did last year. There was a pretty successful series called Porno Shabari Shab.
What kind of actor would you call yourself? A director's actor, a natural actor, a trained actor, or a blend of all these?
A blend, but I'm definitely a director's actor. I have too strong and too opinionated a mind of my own to be a director's actor.
Then you must getting into a tiff with your directors every now and then.
I do quite frequently. I do.
I've learned to stay quiet. I've learned to stay contained. Unless the director comes and tells me, you know what, don't use your mind. Just do what I'm saying. I will keep using my mind.
As a director yourself, how much freedom and space do you give to your actors to improvise, or have they to be very, very rigid about how you're telling them to sit? Like Gulzar's by, he told me that he's very particular, even the way the person sits. So, and some people allow them to improvise a lot. Some people are in between.
It depends, as long as they are working within the parameters or the periphery or the boundaries of their character and of the film. Having been on both sides of the fence, being an actor and being a director both, I have come to realize that actors can be very tricky people to deal with, because there can be a scene which is probably the most important scene for that particular actor in the entire film, and an actor might not realize it, and an actor might just want to do it like a throwaway scene, like let's just duke jai and just walk in and just get done with it. And maybe that particular day the actor is not in a good mood, or he or she just wants to leave early or whatever. And on another given day, an actor might become a bit too serious about a scene which is direct. As a director, I might just want to get done within 1 hour. And the actor might just suddenly come to he or she might be in a very good mood and might be trying to find purpose to her craft that particularly on that very day. So he or she might be just, what if I do this? What if I do that? And how about we think about it like this. And that's when I have to tell them that, dude, it does not deserve so much importance, this particular scene. To just do what I'm doing. These are the 6 shots that I need to can, and I have 1.5 hours for this. So just do what I'm doing. But then there are scenes where I usually go and tell them, I have not broken the scene down into shots. I want to see how you guys, conceive this, how you want to play this out, and I'm gonna break the shots down according to what you want to do.
Name 5 or 10 of your best films as an actor.
I think Chotoshkon will be one of them. Although I did not have the main role in it, but I think Cinema Wala, I quite like my performance in.
It is a beautiful film.
Koshidas,
Beautiful
that,
film. Yeah.
From the body of Hindi work, although I'm known most obviously for Kahaani, I think my performance in Aranyak I was quite proud of. Yeah, I quite like myself in that series. Kahaani, in Kahaani, my performance had a certain innocence which was not even put in consciously by me. I was just fresh back from England. I didn't even know I was about to start this film. It suddenly came to me. Vidya was such a big star I was working with, but she was so incredibly nice. It was kind of strange. The innocence that came through, it came through organically, I think. As number 5, I think, strictly as an actor, I think Ditiyo Purush is one film where I've been pretty good. Although again, because Anirban played a character which was very sort of visually very striking, with that kind of buzz cut, and he had all the all the good lines, all the giveaway lines and all that, the hot lines, and my character did not. But mine was more layered, way more layered, and I do think that I kind of pulled it off rather nice.
You have, or many producers have postponed the release of their films right now, including your ERTA, Erattomaramar. Would you be able to say why?
Yes, of course, because of the current atmosphere, the current climate, that in the wake of the gruesome incident at the Arjikar hospitals and medical college. I think people are out on the streets demanding justice, and people are not particularly in the mood to, kind of engage in revelries currently at this point in time. So, releasing a film is always a matter of fanfare. I mean, no matter how small or how big a film is, the moment you're releasing a film, there is bound to be a certain degree of fanfare around it. We don't feel like engaging in fanfare currently. Yeah.
How do you approach veteran actors who are also directors like Aparna Sen, Anjan Datto, or even very senior actors like Soumitra Chatterjee?
In the world, I think I really, really wish sometimes that every actor in the world were replicas of Anjan Datto.
Yeah, very high esteem.
Yeah, I think he's incredible. He's an incredible actor.
I think he's the best actor that I've worked with ever.
Okay.
That I've directed. He can be very, very careless about his craft. He'll step into a set, he'll understand how serious or how focused or how careful the people making the film are, and he auto-tunes himself to that. I mean, if he realizes that, okay, yeah, it's a film that I'm doing for money, if he realizes, he will behave accordingly, he will act accordingly. If one manages to make him realize that this is something we are trying to make with a lot of care, and I have a vision as a director, then that man can really become your prime aid in making sure that your vision is realized. Anjan Datto, despite being a filmmaker, he's not somebody who gets into the way of another director while he's acting in their films. He just lets go. He just
can't say. He surrenders.
He just surrenders and says, okay, tell me what to do, and okay, acha. So he doesn't even ask about shots. He doesn't even, he just, okay, should I do the whole thing? He's like a little child. Maybe that's the way he has been with me. I mean, other people might have other experiences, but probably that comes from the fact that he has realized that he's not like the whole process of their, it depends person to person, right? So, but as far as I'm concerned, I've directed him in 2 films, in Bonnie and in Erattomaramar. In Bonnie, in a smaller role. In Erattomaramar, he's everything.
How is it? I haven't seen Bonnie.
Bonnie is a film
which was made as an adaptation of a Shishendra Mukherjee novel, and it's produced by Surinder Films. It's directed by me. It has Koel, myself, and Anjan Datto in the main parts.
I think I've seen
and
it.
And Kanchan as well, by the way. Yeah, it's on Hoichoi. You might want to know.
And
I worked
Aparna?
with Rina.
Rina Mashi is very opinionated, of course, as one might expect, and she will come and tell you. She will have an opinion on everything.
If a person like me, like I have directed only her only in Erattomaramar, and fortunately, a film like Eira Tomar Amar, in terms of its nature, was very aligned with the kind of films that Rinadi would want to do or would want to make, or sort of the largest zone of films from where she hails. So whatever suggestions she would give me, whatever opinions she would give me, whatever she would have, would be of great help to me. But it might happen with Rinadi that suppose if somebody is trying to make a film which is very far away from her innate sensibilities, and he or she just wants Aparna Sen to be a part of his or her film as an actor, then if Rinadi wants to come in with her sensibilities, they might not be in sync with that film or that person. But Eira Tomar Amar is a film which was being made from the point of certain sensibilities where Rinadi's feedback was very helpful for me. But if I was making any other film,
Because you're making a totally indoor short
absolutely,
film,
and it's not
she
just
has
about
lots of
indoor.
indoors, yeah.
It's not just about that. It's just the
Tonality of a film.
The detail.
No, it's not about that either. It's just about the tonality of the film. The tonality of the film is such. It's just about one man and one woman, just about their life so far. So it's a very intimate and a very almost sort of what one would very loosely call an artsy film actually. But if I was making, let's say, a Hawa Bodol with Aparna Sen as an actor, as one of the actors, then I would be her feedback might have been in conflict with the kind of palette or a kind of tonality that I want to bring about in Hawa Bodol. So I'm sure Rinadi Mashi understands that, and she probably wouldn't come on board with such feedback in case of Hawa Bodol. But Rina Mashi is somebody who has a lot of opinion, and in my case, they have been incredibly useful. So, yeah.
What criteria do you apply while accepting an acting assignment? Banner, director, script, role, price.
It's in these three things which matter the most: script, role, director, script, and price. Yeah.
Please share your memories of Durga Puja as a child.
It's like a calendar thing for every
Bengali from this part of Bengal.
It's an event around which you plan your year, right? I mean, so anything, suppose you're sitting in the month of February or March and you're thinking that, okay, let's plan the year. What all do we need to do? What all do we want to do? Where do we want to go for a travel or for a trip? Or what kind of work do I plan to do? So when you sit down and plan that, the first question probably you ask, if you are a Bengali from West Bengal, is, ebar pujo kabe? So, so that's how it is,
It
right?
begins
for us.
that way.
Yeah, it begins that way. So it goes without saying, it's probably the most important event for the last 40 years of my life. Yeah, there are too many memories. I mean, the memories are abundant, and it's a part of our growing up which has percolated so deep inside our consciousness that when we write something, when we try to create something, when we think of a story, these small memories from Durga Puja times, they percolate through our memories. They kind of manifest themselves as well through the stories that we want to tell. Memories are in abundance. I mean, how many more memories can I... so right now, it's the question of a smell, a fragrance that you suddenly start smelling in the air after a prolonged monsoon season. You suddenly one day you sort of realize that, oh, it's quite sunny today, isn't it? And it's not as warm as it was in the month of June before the monsoon started. So it's become very pleasant suddenly. And there's a certain fragrance in the air, and the sun is out, and the skies are blue, and that's when you realize, oh, Durga Puja is about to arrive. So it's a holistic feeling for us.
It's kind of a similar thing that happens to people
living in very cold countries when summer arrives for them. I've noticed it. I've lived in England for in phases in quite a few for quite some time, and I've realized that in winter we are enjoying it because we come from a very warm country, so we are shivering, we are wearing layers and layers of warm clothing, but we're still enjoying it. But they are not, and they are grumpy, they are fidgety, they are irritated. At the moment it's like past March and we're getting into April, I mean, the whole mood has just changed. People are smiling more. People who I've seen to be grumpy just 5 days ago have started smiling and started exchanging greetings and that kind of stuff.
Have you ever interacted with the diaspora Bengali community in Singapore and beyond? If yes, what was the experience like?
Not extensively, but yes, somewhat, yes.
Back in the days in the 2012-13, they used to host a Bengali film festival called Darpan.
Where was this?
This was in Singapore. Yeah. I remember attending it twice in 2012 and 13. That is when I had the opportunity to interact with some of them. Then later on, I don't remember which one, but there was a film of mine which got released in Singapore. So I had gone there. So yeah, not as much as the Bengali diaspora in England or in the US probably, but yes, I have had the chance, yes.
What was the experience like?
It was lovely, but I would like to interact a little more. But
Okay. Thank you, Param. Thank you very much.